everybody, it's Melanie. I wanted to do a video today on how the carnivore diet cured my interstitial cystitis. If you haven't ever heard of interstitial cystitis, it's a very long, complicated word. It's also known as painful bladder syndrome. It can have a wide variety of symptoms like incomplete emptying of your bladder, bladder spasming, pain upon urination, cramping, going 25 to 30 times a day. Interstitial cystitis is actually really common, but it's misdiagnosed as just urinary tract infections. But I'm going to get into that here in just a second. I wanted to talk about how going carnivore actually healed my bladder from the inside out. It actually healed my interstitial cystitis. And I wanted to talk about it because I think there's a lot of people out there that are having this issue and they feel trapped, they feel stuck, depressed, and there is hope out there for this. A little bit about me. When I was a little girl, I had what everybody thought was just recurring urinary tract infections. So my mom would take me to the urgent care doctor instead of my pediatrician. And I think that's kind of where things got a little haywire because nobody could make a connection that I was actually having these UTIs about once a month, every month. Anyway, I would go to the immediate care center and they would give me an antibiotic prescription. They would do a urine culture. It was like clockwork that this is how it would go. I would take the medication and it would actually help a little bit. And then they would call after the culture came back and say it's actually negative, but go ahead and finish those antibiotics. Needless to say, I feel like I've been on more antibiotics than anybody I've ever met. It's like my whole childhood and teenage years, I was on something. I was on, just these heavy duty antibiotics to knock out this UTI that I actually did not have. I actually had interstitial cystitis. And I was not formally diagnosed until I was 22 years old. So I went through all of my school years. I used to get in trouble with teachers because they were not happy with me having to go to the bathroom multiple times during their class. I have to get a doctor's note to say, like, please let Melanie go to the bathroom whenever she needs to. And that's pretty embarrassing, but I had to do it because, I had to go constantly, and when I would go, only a little bitty, like a couple of drops would come out. And this is back when I'm going through puberty, different things, I was having a lot of painful pelvic cramping. And so I'm thinking, I've got cramps from my period. No, it wasn't that, it was actually my bladder. Anyway, like I said, I wasn't diagnosed till I was 22. So at 22, they went ahead and prescribed me about 6 different prescriptions, all with horrible, awful side effects. I'm talking like dry mouth and nausea and, just drowsiness constantly, whatever. It was too much. And then they would do these things called bladder cocktails. And I don't know if any of you all out there have had this, but it's awful. They take a catheter and they put it in your urethra and they put numbing medication up into your bladder. And it's supposed to help stop all the pain for, a little bit. Oh God, just getting the catheter in is enough to just kill me now. So I had that done. Then I had a very, very awful procedure done called a cysto-uro-hydrotheroscopy with hydrodistension, something like that. Anyway, it's where they take a catheter, and this is after you're put to sleep. They do a catheter, they blow your bladder up like a balloon with water, and this bursts apart all the scar tissue that's inside of my bladder so that I then pee it out. And then it's like I have a fresh bladder lining. Well, guess what? That was like peeing out shards of glass for about a week. That was the most painful thing that was one of the top things I've had done. That was just some sort of cruel torture. And that actually helped maybe 50%. I had what are called Hunter's ulcers in my bladder. So it looks like broken blood vessels. And so anytime I would pee, there would actually be blood in my urine. And then I actually had to go to physical therapy for my bladder as well. That's another really great thing. No, it sucks really freaking bad, and I'm pissed off that I even had to do it, but you know, this is before I discovered this diet. Anyway, in physical therapy, they manually go up into your vagina, and then that's how they access the urethra from inside of you, and they like work out the kinks that are inside of your urethra, because your urethra is so inflamed and like kinked up that for me, when I would pee, it would just be like all day. That's how much I would pee. And so it was an all day thing to go to the bathroom for me, which is debilitating. I was advised by the physical therapist, not the urologist, about watching out for certain things in my diet. And those things were alcohol, tea, anything red, like any tomato, any red sauce, acidic foods, and chocolate, like cocoa. White chocolate was okay, I guess. So I did that. I eliminated those foods, and that really, really improved my problem because, I was just, oh God. I was eating the standard American diet. I was eating anything and everything. And, every now and then I'd have wine. And you talk about some of the worst bladder spasms of my life. It's always after I would have red wine. I never made the connection. Anyway, the carnivore diet completely eradicated any of my bladder problems. My interstitial cystitis, I feel like, is completely gone. I feel 100% cured from it. I know this diet sounds like super crazy. An example of what I'm eating on a daily basis is like eggs and hamburger for breakfast, chicken, fatty chicken, like the thighs, steaks, shrimp, and then roast. I do a lot of beef roast, and pretty much that's it for me, other than some electrolyte drinks. But getting off of the inflammatory foods, that's what changed my life, and it completely changed my interstitial cystitis symptoms. And now, not everybody cuts out dairy on carnivore, but I do. I have to. I do eat butter because for some reason butter, since it's a fat, it's not inflammatory the way that milk is. But yeah, I wanted to let everybody know out there that this is something that they could possibly try if they have interstitial cystitis and they want to make a change and just see what it does. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about my story, and hopefully this can help somebody out there that's suffering, because interstitial cystitis is awful. It's a terrible, terrible thing. Anyway, count carbs, not happiness.